Hello, hello. Are we live? Can you guys hear me? Is everything okay? Let me see if I can get more on the shot there. Or let me see if I can move the tripod a little bit. There we go. I don't know if I should change the lighting over here or what. All right, this is the post Super Bowl chat, I guess. So, how's it going, everybody? If you guys can hear me, say what's up. How's it going, Michael Hill? What's up, brother? How you guys doing tonight? Again, this is the post Super Bowl. Obviously, it wasn't a good Super Bowl because the Patriots were not playing tonight, of course. But I mean, there's only so much we can do there, if you know what I mean. So let's see if I can hit my own live stream over here. There we go. How's everyone doing tonight? Hopefully you all got to enjoy the Super Bowl. Let's see. Hey, in Miami, got the last what? Okay, I guess Michael or Mikey Tech Reviews went to the Super Bowl. Michael Hill has a question for me. What's going on, man? How's it going? I gotta rep the Patriots today, man. So so how's it going, fellas? How y'all doing tonight? Go ahead and hit that like button, by the way. And hopefully I can see y'all's chat over here. Hopefully get my My Hero Academia poster in the shot. I just wish I had so much more. There we go. Sorry if it's a weird angling tonight. I do have this on a tripod, so just bear with me. Let me send my friend a screenshot here. Michael Hill, what's your question, man? Hello, how's it going, everybody? If you guys are just joining in, don't forget to hit that like button. Don't forget to hit that share button as well if you guys are keeping an eye on my channel. I'm close to hitting that 10,000 subscriber mark. And big shout out to CV Tech also, or RJ from CV Tech Reviews, right? He just hit 25,000 subs, so big congrats to him. I've been off the whole weekend, so I've just been kind of enjoying myself. I did post up a video on the iPhone 11, and it doesn't have that much views right now, obviously, but I mean, I don't know if that's a video that people really would want to care or see, but nonetheless, I actually posted a video regarding the iPhone 11, which is pretty funny. Okay, let's see what's up, Tech for Your Needs. How's it going? Michael Hill says, all right, so I'm a long life Android user and thinking about getting an iPhone XR or XS Max or possibly a S10. I honestly can't decide what I want to get. Well, man, I mean, if I were, I guess I'm biased, I guess, because I do use iPhones. I've never honestly had one of the modern day flagship Android devices, though. So, I mean, if you're thinking about getting an S10, I'm sure the S10, works well for what it is. So, I mean, it's really your preference, man. I would, personally, I would probably go with iPhone, just because I know they're a little more reliable than Android devices now, obviously, or at least in my opinion, they're a little more reliable. Um, but it really depends on your ecosystem, man, and what you want to do with your stuff. I hope you guys all enjoyed the Super Bowl. By the way, again, this is the post Super Bowl chat, I guess, live stream, post Super Bowl live stream. And again, I'm wearing my Pats merch over here. Go Patriots! Look at that. Go Patriots! I feel real stupid wearing that, but I still rep my team even though they weren't in the Super Bowl. Tom Brady was still there. Bill Belichick was still there. Gronkowski was still there. It's pretty funny. Like Tech says, he was at the Super Bowl. I'm sure. How much did that cost you, man? It seems like it cost a lot of money. I know tickets just to go to the Super Bowl is a lot. So, let's see. Tech for Your Needs is replying to Michael Hill saying, I was using Android since HTC G1 days, and now I started using the iPhone since the 7 and currently have the iPhone XR, no regrets. So, yeah, I mean, if you even look at Aloha Android's videos and whatnot, he basically says that the iPhone is not much, it's really not that much different from Android. Obviously, you're going to be lacking some things on iPhone that you might have on Android, like the customability factor of the home screen. I think that's one thing that people really kind of don't like about the iPhones, but I kind of found it, I guess, easier to get used to, I guess. It's not a hard device to use, obviously. You probably have more able apps to use than you'd have on Android. Even though there's still a lot of apps on the Google Play Store, iOS basically just has everything because more people have iPhones, or at least that's my opinion. At least I would feel that more people have iPhones, but I mean, apps just work better on the iPhone in general, man. So I have the iPhone 11, obviously. Here's my 11. I've had the iPhone 6s, I've had the iPhone 10, and then I've had the iPhone 11. So I kind of never really went back to Android. I have bounced back between several Android phones in the past, I guess, but I just really haven't really found a reason to go back to Android other than the fact that, again, the customability of it. I think that the phones are obviously different, right? They're not, they're not that. I mean, it's really your preference, man. Samsung, LG, whatever you want to go with, man. I wouldn't get an XS honestly, just because that's kind of like old. Thank you. Oh yeah, you can see my dog in the background. Pat H, by the way, who will be my future editor slash graphic designer over here for B Tech Reviews, guys. So just wait until I go big. She's gonna be doing all my editing. Until then, but anyway, um, but yeah, I mean, any iPhone you get after the 8 is really a good iPhone, to be honest. Like, you don't really have to go and spend that much. If I were you, I would probably get the XR, probably. Like, if it's your first iPhone, unless you have that money to spend on the XS or whatever, then go ahead, you know what I mean? And yeah, let's see. Tech for Need says I had a bunch of Android flagship phones barely, and I think on the mid range, but I don't remember. Okay. People say with Android you have a lot more options versus iOS, and it's kind of true. There's a little more stuff that you can do with Android. As far as like, but the thing is, you have to look at it this way. Like, iPhone is going to have a lot more support when it comes to, the software updates and everything like that. Android, if you buy like a flagship, whether it be like the Pixel or the Samsung, you're really only going to have a few years of updates on that. I know people that still have the iPhone 6s that are running Android, or not running Android, but running iOS 13. So you're really going to have that kind of support with Apple, as far as its devices, and that's probably why I prefer going with the latest Android, or I mean, the latest Apple device instead, or even an older. But yeah, let's see what. But I'm glad to have you guys here. Wow, I got 6 people watching tonight. I did a live stream the other night, guys, and it was just me and like Tech for Your Needs, I think, and like I think one more other person, and it was a completely dead live stream. I think Mikey Tech was in that chat also, and I'm sorry, guys. Like, I guess I was out of it during the video, and I didn't have anyone watching, so I went ahead and just deleted that video. Like, I was kind of ashamed of that video, so I just went ahead and deleted it like right afterwards. You know what I mean? Which is not common of me. It's rare that I will delete a live stream video unless I know that it's not doing like that good, and I know that one didn't do that good. Are you guys hearing me okay, by the way? Let's see. Let me know. I guess you guys can't hear me. Yes. I do have an external mic plugged into the device here for the live stream. Pat H says, don't you think that Apple slows down the device? No, I don't think so. A lot of people have complained in the past with some of the older Apple devices that yes, they did reduce performance to save battery life. But even to be honest, like, I've had older iPhones like in my hand, and to compare to this phone, and it's really not much of a difference, to be honest. Um, as far as speed, and I think it's just kind of crazy the fact that how fluid these devices are. Again, the older iPhones, how fluid those devices are, even years later. You can get like an iPhone 7, and it'll still be almost as fast as an iPhone 11 or 11 Pro. You know what I mean? Or you think that the new software is just so advanced? It's not so much that I think the new software is advanced. I just think that the hardware is already like to the point where they really can't improve so much on the hardware. So all they can really do is just um, all they can really do is just continue to update the software that goes along with the hardware. I mean, it really goes back to software. I mean, even if you go back to, I mean, even if you go back to the earlier days of the iPhone, the iPhone didn't never really had great specs compared to some of the earlier Android flagships. You know what I mean? Yet the iPhone was still performing a lot better. You know what I mean? They had a smaller battery, less RAM, But again, because of the software that went with it, it really made the hardware work really well. You know what I mean? So yes, Google does give Pixel devices the system updates first, but that I remember when the Nexus was around, and after Google bought Motorola, I remember that actually the Motorola G, I think it was the Motorola G2 actually got one of the Android updates first before the Nexus devices did. So that was a big shocker back in the day when that went down. A lot of people complained about that actually, because I remember having the Nexus device also, and then I bought the Motorola G2 for review, and a lot of people complained about that. So let's see. Do you think smartphones reached peak level? That's a good question, man. I mean, I'm sure you're getting that question from when MKBHD or Marquez Brownlee posted a video about if they have reached peak level. And to a certain degree, yes, I believe that Android and iPhones have kind of reached peak levels of like what they can do. Obviously, because they do so much already. Well, I'm getting a lot of chats here. What's going on, guys? Slow down. Trump is king. Is looks like he's chatting, by the way. So time to make somebody a moderator here. Let's see. And Michael Hill. Let's see. Okay. So yeah, for the most part, I mean, I do believe that right now we are at a peaking phase, but at the same time, there's going to be so much new technologies coming out. If you guys saw that new Galaxy flip phone that kind of looks like the Nintendo Game Boy Advance SP or whatever, it's like a little flip phone, kind of like the It's kind of mimicking the Motorola Razr, and you're just gonna see a lot of new, not just new, but like it's more like the hardware has peaked, I think, but now we're gonna really start to see software development becoming even like better for the phone usages. So like camera app usage, again, that those ultra wide to wide angle shots from the camera, not just from the rear camera, but I believe that within the next few years that the front camera quality is just going to have just almost as good of the quality that you see on the outer quality. I think people are kind of skipping on the front facing camera because a lot of people don't take. I guess a lot of people aren't taking as much selfies as they used to, obviously, but I mean for the most part, people are kind of really not giving the phone manufacturers credit as well for what they have done already. So let's see. Okay, Mikey Tech says the comparison I would make compared to iPhone for Android would be Samsung S line or the Galaxy Note. I would probably get a Note over the S line phones. Even a Galaxy Note 8, I think you can get one cheap for like $200. Mikey Tech Review says Pixel still not enough updates and security patches. Android just gives you 2 or 3. You barely get any updates after that. Yeah, I mean, it really depends on the phone manufacturer. I mean, if you really want like good security patches, I would probably go with the Pixel device. Uh, but you're not going to get like the latest and greatest version of Android, which I've said in some of my past live streams that you don't really need the latest and greatest version of Android as long as whatever you have is working for you. You know what I mean? Because there's always going to be little features here and there that you're just not going to be able to have for whatever reason. And every device is different, so one device is going to have one feature over another, obviously. So again, it really depends on what you want, Michael Hill, and how things can go. So let's see. Pat H says, "Why do you think foldable phones are coming back at Mike Tech or Mikey?" Oh, she's asking Mikey Tech. Okay, that's a question for Mikey Tech. Well, let me go ahead and give my 2 cents on that, I guess, as well. Foldable tech is making a comeback mostly because space, basically. You know what I mean? I mean, look at that. Look at how long and big this thing is. You know what I mean? If I was able to cut this in half, the pocketable size of something like this is going to be a lot different for someone that's able to just fold it and put it away. You know what I mean? That goes for girls in their purses, or you see a lot of times you see girls who will put their phone in their butt pocket, which is fine, but at the same time, it can cause your pants seams to rip or little things like that. For me, having the phone in the front pocket is not always an ideal location, even though like I mean you can kind of tell it's there. You know what I mean? Was back then the older small smartphones that flipped were a lot smaller, so you wouldn't be able to tell that you had anything in your pocket. You know what I mean? For me, it's more space, and just because they can. You know what I mean? I don't have a problem with that either. I hate. Okay, let's see. Tech for Ernie says I hate going back and forward between my computer and my phone installing Windows updates right now. Oh yeah, that's kind of a pain. I'm glad. I guess my computer hasn't given me a Windows update. I'm running Windows 10 Pro right now. I was actually at Walmart and Best Buy a couple days ago, and I was kind of looking at some lower end laptops, just because I want to. When I do my broadcasting like on remote locations, I want to make sure that I'm able to maybe connect a few webcams and use a software called OBS to run the live stream and get different like a few different shots when I'm doing live streams. So I'm kind of thinking about doing that. I did have a MacBook Pro, but I sold my MacBook Pro. So I do not know if foldable phones are the future. I think it's going to be really the user preference. I think it's cool that phone manufacturers are giving people the option now to to have something like that. I thought you can buy the Pixel 4 from T-Mobile. Maybe I'm wrong on that. Justin Martinez says it's not space because some of those foldables are huge. Yeah, you're right. So right now they're still in the process, and these are the first gen of foldable smart devices. You have to kind of consider that. You know what I mean? Um, Frank Crawford says, Kansas City, let's go. Sorry, man. I'm always going to rep the Pats. Congrats to Pat Mahomes, man. Honestly, I was actually rooting for the 49ers just because Jimmy G was a Pat, you know what I mean? And I was really hoping that he was going to win at least one Super Bowl, like, without Tom Brady's help and everything like that. But at the end of the day, obviously, 6 minutes left in the fourth quarter. Kansas City just wanted it more. San Francisco made a lot of big errors towards the end where, they could have made these plays or they could have made defensive stops. There was a few bad calls on the referee side, but I don't think that was really a deciding factor. A couple of calls that could have been, that could have helped San Francisco out, but at the end of the day, Pat Mahomes was throwing those bullets at the end. You got to give Kansas City's defense huge credit because they made a lot of the big stops towards the end. So I mean, again, kudos to Kansas City. Andy Reid, it's his first Super Bowl. He's been to so many, conference finals. He's been to a few Super Bowls prior, and hasn't won one. So, got to give him a big shout out. But next year, my boy Tommy B will be back. So let's see. Okay. Might get a MacBook Mini. You mean a MacBook like Air or whatever? I guess I don't know. Tech for Ernie says, "Do you regret selling your MacBook Pro?" I think sometimes I do regret it because it had a lot of little things that these newer Macs don't have. It had like 3 USB ports. It had an HDMI connection. It had 2 Thunderbolt ports. So which enabled me to actually connect it to 2 monitors, so I could actually have like a three monitor rig setup with that. So yes, I do kind of regret selling my MacBook Pro because it was still running okay. You know what I mean? It really, I mean, after I built my PC though, like I can tell that obviously the difference in performance, even though it's Windows, you know what I mean? My Windows computer just runs a lot faster. I was having an easier time editing on my Windows PC, opposed to my MacBook Pro because my MacBook Pro only had 8 gigs of RAM. It did have an SSD. But it really wasn't getting the job done for me anymore. It was laggy when I was running Premiere Pro on it. I could use iMovie on it just fine. iMovie ran okay, and it got the job done there. But at the end of the day, like I wanted to do a little more, I guess, stuff with the video editing. So that's why I chose to sell it and keep my PC instead. So let's see. The New England Patriots are overrated. They seem like a rehab team. A lot of players who have issues in life or the NFL is going to release them and they end up playing for. Not really. I mean, aside from Josh Gordon, which I know, had his issues as far as like the illegal substances go. You know what I mean? I mean, I don't think that the New England Patriots have made a lot of bad choices as far as picking up bad players. They've had a lot of injuries this past year, obviously, which didn't help Tom Brady because he didn't have a lot of weapons to throw to this year. Which you can't really. I mean, I don't want to put it on the team, but I don't. I mean, I'm not pointing fingers either. He didn't have that great of a season as well. So, let's see. If you have enough money, which computer would you get, Windows or a MacBook Pro? if I had enough money, I would probably get a spec'd out MacBook Pro. Like, but that, let's just say I had like a $5,000 computer. But also, like, I'm kind of thinking of like getting like if I were to have that kind of money, also I would maybe try to get like a Lenovo IdeaPad or even these. I think they're like there's a few laptops that I know that guys like Potato Jet have been editing on by Razer, which are made for content creators also. So I definitely would kind of want to try something out like that as well, just because I'd be down to see how those perform opposed to like a MacBook Pro. But I mean, if I could, I would get like a decked out MacBook Pro 15-inch with like the touch bar and like 64 gigs of RAM and the top processor, which would probably cost around 5,000. But even then, like why spend that much money when I could just buy like an actual Mac Pro or an iMac Pro? You know what I mean? I would rather get an iMac Pro instead. But at the end of the day, you know what I mean? I mean, I guess it's all about usability. You know what I mean? Well, I got 8 people here. Whoa, I got 8 people here tonight, guys. It's the chat room is lit tonight, guys. Thanks for joining in. Again, guys, don't forget to hit that like button. If you guys just joined in, someone gave me a thumbs down. Whoever that was, big hater, by the way. That's all right. They can do that. Okay, let's see. Do you recommend getting an Amazon renewed phone? That's really up to you. I think Amazon, anything you buy off Amazon actually has like a 90-day return policy, I think, whether it's new or used. I would just really look into buying or return or looking at that first. And if they sell any type of warranty with that, maybe look into that as well, just because. But I've never bought a used device off Amazon yet, but I've considered it. Not so much smartphones, but other things. You know what I mean? Like a camera lens, for instance. I know there was a camera lens that I was looking at that is not being sold anymore, but I was still able to find it used on Amazon. So let's see. Mikey Tech says, my opinion, I will get a Chromebook Flip or one or on the go for personal use. Okay. Tech for Your Needs says, I might impress with update as okay. I might impress with this update. It was fast in my computer. Okay, yeah. Well, hopefully. Like the computer I'm using right now, it's a custom made computer. I bought all the parts separately, and let's see. I bought all the parts separately, and I put it together. It took me about a week and a half to put the computer together, and it has a nice GPU. It has a very good processor. It's got a solid case. It has 2 hard drives in there. It just gets the job done for me. You know what I mean? To me, like it gets the job done as like an editing rig. You know what I mean? So we'll see how that goes. Tech for your needs. Okay, let's see. The reason I say go with an Amazon renewed product is because of the return policy. This is what I gathered doing research from friends that bought renewed products from Amazon. Yeah, and you can, you know what I mean? That's the thing. Like I wasn't familiar with that, so it looks like my mother is in the background here. Say hi to B Tech Mom, okay? She's getting some water. Where's Chula? Where's Chula Bula? Everyone wants to see Chula on the live stream over here. But yeah, I mean, I haven't gone with any renewed devices just yet, as far as like like Android or whatever devices. I've considered it. So, well, did we just drop to 3 people? Here we go. There's Chula. There she is. Say hi to Chula, guys. Say welcome back to Chula on the live stream. She's probably ready to pee all over the place. She's a pee magnet. She just loves to pee everywhere. Okay. Put you on the floor, Ugly. She's probably not going to let me sleep tonight. That's all right. It says, excuse my typing too fast without proofreading. Okay, yeah, sorry. Let's see. Some people like custom stuff over the pre-built computers. It just depends on the preference. I mean, yeah, that's true. I mean, a lot of times you can buy, a pre-built like gaming PC or computer, and it's fine as long as the specs are matching up. In my personal opinion, though, like the money I spent building this computer was actually a lot less than buying a pre-built PC, and it probably performs a lot better than some of those pre-built PCs. Also, you know what I mean? Because I've seen some PCs around the same specs that cost maybe like $400 to $500 more than the one that I built. So a lot of the times, it's better to invest in just putting something like this together than buying something else. Because I mean I've seen again similar decked out PCs that are around the same money, or a little more actually. Um, this one only cost me about like 500-600 to build, and the ones that I've seen with around the same like specs are around like $900 to $1,200. You know what I mean? So, oh yeah, the Taco Bell mascot, she's just not brown. Yeah, you're right about that. I don't know where the other dogs went. They all went to the backyard, I guess. My mom threw them out. So, but yeah, oh man, thanks for joining in, guys. By the way, it looks like I only have 3 people watching now. Everyone left. That's all right. Let's see. Do you buy used then refurbish it to like it when it comes to computers? Okay, I didn't really understand that question. Do you buy used, or are you asking if I prefer buying refurbished? Um, I mean that, or are you saying do I buy it used and then get it refurbished? I mean, I would rather just buy a refurbished product straight out, because at least if it's refurbed, it goes back to the company, and they inspect it and they do whatever they need to do to fix the item before trying to resell it. You know what I mean? Um, but as far as like just buying used, like I don't know. I mean, I've bought a used tech in the past. You know what I mean? Okay, do you like to buy used or refurbished and then rebuild them to your liking? I mean, I don't have a problem with buying used, and as long as I know that the product is working, or whatever it is working. I've never bought in any items used to build a computer though. Okay, like everything that I bought for my computer was new. You know what I mean? Uh, I mean but I think that would be a cool little project for me. By the way, I've actually considered buying like a bunch of used computer parts and then building like a PC, or buying like a used old gutted PC that just really has like the motherboard and maybe like the CPU, and then trying to upgrade it. You know what I mean? Up to something new. I mean, I've already done something like that similar on one of my older PCs, and I know it's still doable in 2020. You know what I mean? I mean, it's just really I would. I mean, that could be a cool YouTube series for me. By the way, guys. But anyways, it really depends. You know what I mean? I mean, if you want to save money, you can go that route where you buy used or the refurbed route, and then upgrade it from there. You know what I mean? But you really have to kind of do your research on stuff like that, also. You know what I mean? Just because, again, you might buy parts for a specific component that you need, and it might not work, correctly or the way you want it to. So you kind of have to do your research before doing that. Let's see. Enjoy the Super Bowl, by the way. How did y'all enjoy the Shakira halftime show, man? Honestly, man, they didn't even need J Lo, man, for that halftime performance. By the way, I really enjoyed the halftime show with just Shakira. Yes, J Lo put on a great show also, but like Shakira stole the show, man. That woman can dance. You know what I mean? And every body part that she has, she can move the right way. You know what I mean? And again, don't get me wrong, J Lo had a good performance also, but Shakira, who opened, I guess, for the Super Bowl halftime show, she just blew it out of the water. You know what I mean? And she can shake that booty, guys. Like there's no tomorrow, man. Looks like Pat H has returned. How's it going, Pat H? But yeah, like I think I've been wanting to get my hands on like some of those older Dell PCs that you've seen like in like at school or something, and then just upgrading it, to see what I can use to upgrade. You know what I mean? Definitely want to get something that's running at least running Windows 10 now, because I know Windows 7 has no more support on their systems. So I really want to just try that instead. So maybe in the near future, I might try to buy like a gutted PC that doesn't have like a hard drive, maybe just a CPU, and then see if I can build like another editing rig so that I can edit videos. You know what I mean? What's funny? Okay, now that Pat H mentions that, she's like, you should do a series where you go to a pawn shop and buy old tech and then review it. So Austin Evans, who's another tech YouTuber, right? He actually did something like that where he bought older tech from a pawn shop, but he bought like an Xbox and stuff like that, and then and even an old iMac, and he was like, "Is it worth buying it from a pawn shop?" Ooh, guys, hold on. I'm gonna have to go remote here. By the way, these dogs are not letting me enjoy my live stream over here. Here we go. We got Sophia over here. Sophia, what are you doing, Mama? Where's Henry? Yeah, leave him outside. Leave Henry outside. Okay. All right, sorry guys, we are going remote here. I feel like it's the Blair Witch Project. Oh no. Okay. That was funny. All right, so we're back in MB Media's or BTech Production Studios over here. I am considering renting out some studio space, guys. Again, that probably won't be anytime soon, or at least not right now. But if I can get a good deal, like on a location where I can get maybe like just a little room where I can, do, my YouTube stuff and my content creating, I would rather have the space just because, it's easier for me to leave all my equipment there and do all that. Right now, my room is kind of condensed, so, I have a lot of my, a lot of my camera gear and, my computer stuff just laying around everywhere, and it just can't, it's wires everywhere, and I feel like it's making my room a little, dirty and condensed. So eventually, I'm hoping that my YouTube channel generates enough money to where I can, invest in a small space, a small little office suite that I can only spend like a couple $100s on a month, hopefully. And then, hopefully not just do stuff for here, but I also do a wrestling podcast with my buddies. So hopefully I can get into something like that where I can, use that space to, conduct interviews and again do content creation in general, because I think that's my passion. I love doing content creation, and even if I only have like 2 viewers right now. But Pat H, that is a good idea. I'm not too familiar with pawn shops and older tech, so we'll see how that goes. Maybe I can start a series like that. You know what I mean? Old tech. Let's see. Mikey Tech says, yeah, I've saw on YouTube where a tech YouTube bot used laptops from a pawn shop in computers and built a couple pawn shop computers. Yeah, and it's doable. Tech Revival, that's a good name for the series, right? Like, let's bring back these old tech items, right? No, well, I mean, it's doable. You know what I mean? I see a lot of people like on the Facebook Marketplace like selling like old computers or older devices. You know what I mean? And it's just interesting. Like a lot of these devices and things, they still work. You know what I mean? Like it's just people tend to want to upgrade because they don't know how to upgrade. You know what I mean? I mean, if you're familiar with computer building, I'm not like super smart on it, but I'm also not unfamiliar on computer and components and whatnot. So that's why for me it's like really not difficult to want to upgrade something and do something with the computer. You know what I mean? Um, so there's that, but at the same time, you have to kind of again, hey, what's up, RFK Tech? How's it going, man? I like your username, by the way, RFK Tech. Michael Hill, are you still there? By the way, you haven't asked any questions. I'm disappointed. Let's see. Hello there, small office. Try to team up with someone who is interested in doing YouTubers every month. Yeah, I mean that's something that I could be considering. You know what I mean? Where if I can find someone to join in with me, um, to hopefully do rent out an office space. Someone that wants the same thing. But right now, of course, I know we all have bills and hopefully my channel. Hopefully my channel generates enough money. My goal is to be making at least $1,000 a month on my YouTube channel, and if I can afford like a $200 to $400 little office space, like in an office building somewhere, it doesn't have to be a big room. It could be like an 8x10 or whatever. The one that I'm interested in is a little more downtown in the city where I live. So it would be a little bit of a drive for me, like maybe like a 15 to 20, or just like about a 15-minute drive, just to get there. But once I'm there, I can just focus on content creation. I won't have I won't have my TV here to be distracted or anything like that. You know what I mean? And I'll just be able to focus on what I want to do when I'm there. You know what I mean? Just spend a few hours there and write down my ideas a little more. Just do stuff like that. You know what I mean? Okay, let's see. Tech Vernon says new tech YouTubers think that you need to spend money to make content. Here are free contents. You can make news, tutorials, and rumors. There you go, free content, folks. And I'm aware of all of that tech for your needs. You know what I mean? It's just I really have always wanted a personal space for me as far as like where to make my content, where to do my video editing, where to do my shooting. You know what I mean? Again, all of this is everything that I've always done has been in my room or a small space in my house. You know what I mean? So at the same time, I think, once you outgrow that, which I feel like I feel like I've outgrown like the space I'm in now, I mean, I feel like I need something new and refreshing, it's not so much about spending the money, tech for your needs, man. And I know that's something that you're probably adamant about, right? But for me, it's like, I really just want the space, to have, you know what I mean? Like that way I can move things around outside of my home. You know what I mean? I don't know what people don't understand about that. You know what I mean? Let's see. It's called putting out a YouTube video calling for any tech. Let's see, any tech YouTuber who lives locally in your areas close by. Dude, to be honest, I don't know any tech YouTubers in my area. I know maybe a handful of people that actually do this. But I mean, at the same time, again, this is not something that will happen probably this year, to be honest. So I mean, let's shut down that idea right away. It's just an idea that I have eventually. A lot of bigger YouTubers end up renting out office space or areas where they can go film their stuff because again it is going to keep them away from things that will distract them at home. If you follow guys like Matty Hopoya, guys like Peter McKinnon, yes, they have big followings. Yes, they can afford the space, obviously, right? Because they are followed and because they make a lot more money on YouTube. But I can see why YouTubers like that do that because first of all, it allows them to do just so much more things. You know what I mean? So, and there's nothing wrong with operating from your bedroom. You know what I mean? I mean, there's nothing that's going to stop you. I'm not saying that my space is stopping me from doing it. I'm still content creating. You know what I mean? So I think eventually I do want to get to the point where I do have my own office space. You know what I mean? In the meantime, I will still continue content creating from home, and stuff like that. You know what I mean? But like, let's say I want to conduct an interview and do stuff like that. I don't want to do it at home because I don't live by myself. You know what I mean? I have people that live here. I have, you know, 5 dogs or 4 dogs that will be a distracting factor if I ever have someone over to do something like that. You know what I mean? I find it really difficult for me sometimes to make videos because I live in the laundry room, by the way. You can see there's laundry machines right there. My mother and father like to do laundry all the time, so a lot of the times I like to do my videos during the day when the lighting's a little better and I have some of that window light coming in. And I'm not able to because they're doing laundry and stuff like that. You know what I mean? So there's a little bit of there's a little bit of reasons why. There's other reasons other than the fact that it's just because it's in my home, but there's just just something that hopefully I am able to do one day, and I'm keeping my fingers crossed that I'm able to do that for not just for myself but for my YouTube community as well, because you guys are my community. You know what I mean? Let's see. RFK Tech says you can use StreamYard and use green screen backgrounds. Whoa, StreamYard. I still haven't tried StreamYard yet. I will eventually try it out. I know you've been inviting me to some of those StreamYard chats of yours, man. I'm so sorry. Every time you invite me, I'm either at work or I'm just not home for whatever reason. So let's see. Mikey Tech says you would be surprised how many people who do YouTube who live in your area that may or may not do tech, but They do YouTube and would be willing to share an office. Yeah, they'd be willing to share an office, but at the same time, would they be willing to pay for the space? Is the question. You know, would they be willing to go half and half? Me personally, like unless it's someone I completely trust, someone I know personally, I would maybe not. I would maybe stay away from that unless they sign unless they put their name on the lease or contract as well. Let's see. Tech Bernie says at RF Tech, you are right about StreamYard green screen. StreamYard is awesome, and I've seen some people. I've seen some of the live streams from StreamYard, so I know that I know what it has to offer, guys. So I think once I start doing more collab videos with some of these other YouTubers, I will use StreamYard eventually. Hopefully, I can chime in on one of RFK's, YouTube live streams one of these nights. Obviously not tonight because I'm just doing my own live stream, by the way. But we will see how it goes, guys. I'm just a few hundred away from that 10K mark, so I'm super excited about that, and I'm just excited in general on how StreamYard is becoming a thing now. So let's see. Okay, RFK StreamYard. Let's see. I love how you guys are making my chat room lit tonight, by the way. Thanks for the steamy conversation, by the way. I love it. Yeah, and that's the thing. Like if I ever share a space like that, definitely, I will make sure that something is, set in stone to where like if they end up leaving and I'm not able to pay, then I can get out of the contract or whatever like that. Let's see. That is why you get a contract when it comes to sharing a space and make rules and regulations, or yeah, of course. Then you're gonna have a hard time finding someone because how many people do YouTube that are around you and you talk in your area. I really don't know anyone, man. I might know I know one person that does content creation in my area. He's a YouTuber. He does like food reviews though, so he really does most of his stuff from remote, where he goes to locations and then he edits his videos at home. So I know I have never met him personally, but I know of his channel. But that's the thing. Like he does remote. He does food restaurant reviews. So he'll go to restaurants around the city, and he'll do his production out there. And then again, like I'm sure he does other things. I know from what I've heard, he does something for some media company. I think so. So again, I don't know if he would ever consider that. I've never introduced myself to him or anything like that. But anywho, anywho, guys, so we can go forward and change the subject from now, I guess. Those were just my ideas, future plans, not just 20K 20K subscribers, but let's see. Mr. Mobile used to live in my hometown, but moved to New York. Yet, yes, there's other people they live too far. Well, New York's a great place to do content creation, honestly. I mean, New York or living in LA, those are, big major cities where people, you know, I guess get better exposure in bigger cities. Me personally, I don't live in a big city, you know what I mean? So, I find it, I guess, not as easy, when you're not known to be from a big city to get exposed like the way some of these guys do, you know what I mean? Yeah, that could be a possibility. Also, finding a spot that's just like month to month or whatever. You know what I mean? And again, I kind of already have a place in mind. It's just a matter of finding out how much they charge, and if eventually like if my budget's in that area where I can afford to rent out that space, then I'll do it. You know what I mean? But for now, this is gonna be the spot for now, guys. So we'll see how that goes. You know what I mean? But guys, I will be receiving a review unit actually in a few days. I think on Wednesday I will be receiving a review unit. So be sure to check out the unboxing for that device, as I am excited because it is going to be a Samsung device. Oh look, Valentine's they're gonna have an '80s DeLorean party. I'm gonna put that I'm interested. I don't know when that is, by the way. Let's see. Okay. Mr. Mobile. I remember when that guy used to work for, I think, Pocket Now. Um, and he used to work with a lot of other YouTubers like Jaime Rivera, who used to work for that YouTube channel also. Okay, finding out my work schedule. I am off tomorrow, but I do open on Tuesday. Ew, I'm not excited about opening on Tuesday, but what can you do? And then I open all weekend. Ooh, but I'm off on Friday, so that's good. Okay, so I'm off Friday, so that's good. All right, let's see. I think the next technology taking is if wearable. Now they are talking about contact lenses or stuff to use in the body. Ooh, implementing technology in the body. I mean, that's kind of scary in a sense. I mean, contacts maybe. What I mean, but even then, like, what would they do with contacts other than vision or making your vision better? You know what I mean? I think that could be. I don't know. Right now, that's. I mean, technology is advancing so much that not just wearable tech, like you said, kind of like the Umidigi smartwatch here, which is monitoring my heart rate. Okay, let's see. I've been using it all day actually. I kind of rotate between my Apple Watch and this now, just because this is super light, by the way. So I mean, it is what it is. But I mean, this thing gets the job done. I mean, it's basic, but can you guys see my heart rate there? 72 BPM. It's probably beating faster than it should, honestly. Okay, last month I started a podcast with an old friend from high school, and we talk about wrestling, AEW, WWE, Ring of Honor. Yeah, I do a podcast, man. I don't do it as consistently as I would like to with my buddies, but we are getting back into it. We're getting involved with some of the local independent wrestling that's going on. We just did an event a couple weeks back in early January called South Texas WrestleFest, which I was able to help interview wrestlers like Kelly, Al Snow, Brian Cage before he tore his bicep. I don't know if you guys heard about Brian Cage tearing his bicep, but he tore his bicep at the event that I was at, and I was filming it as it happened. So that was pretty crazy. I got to interview Sammy Guevara from AEW, who was part of the inner circle with Chris Jericho. And of course, we got to just meet and greet with Scott Hall. Scott Hall, we were supposed to interview Scott Hall, but was Scott Hall? No, it was Rick Steiner or Scott Steiner. I'm sorry. We were supposed to interview Scott Steiner, but he was limited on his time, so all we got to do was just take a picture. So there was that. I mean, I think it'll get to the point though where, I think that once when you're born, they're just gonna start putting things in your body to help, I guess, with things. You know what I mean? Whether it be like immunizations, you know what I mean, like or something like that. You know what I mean? But yeah, you're right about that. It doesn't have to be inside your body, of course. Obviously, duh. Let's see. Mikey Tech says, I was at the what? I was at the Knights of Columbus when the CM Punk came in wearing a hoodie covered with a bandana and low blowed RVD. It was an indie wrestling show. Was that recent or what? I don't know. Oh, you know what? I heard about that. That was actually not too long ago. From what I had heard, but I heard that he was like wearing like sunglasses and he was kind of like hiding. So I don't know what the point was. What that was, I guess. I mean, I guess now he's contracted by Fox or WWE as a commentary guy. A lot of people wanted him to show up at the Royal Rumble, of course. That, of course, didn't end up going down. So, it is what it was, I guess, from there. Let's see. This was the night of the Columbus last month. Yeah, it was about a month ago, from what I remember. Yeah, it was before he joined the Fox thing. Yeah, I remember that. All right, guys. Looks like I've been going on for about an hour already. I might just get off already because I need to make myself some food before I get some sleep, guys. So again, guys, thanks for joining in tonight. I just wanted to do a nice little live stream for y'all tonight. For those of you who missed out on the chat, and you guys are watching the replay, shout outs to all of you. Again, big shout out to CV Tech for, again, surpassing that 25,000 subscriber mark. That's a big accomplishment, man. And I know that sometimes you might be bummed out about your growth or whatever, but that's still a big accomplishment regardless. You're only 5,000 away from 30K and then beyond from that. And we all gotta just support each other on that. So congrats there, man. Keeping my fingers crossed that I reach the 10K mark a lot sooner than later. And then of course 15K and then 20,000 and then so on. I want that YouTube plaque in the background on my videos when I have my office, of course, right? So again, guys, this is Mike from B Tech Review signing off. You guys have a great night. Thank you all for watching. Hope you all have a great night. I hope you all enjoy the Super Bowl. Hopefully you guys, if you're wrestling fans, hopefully you guys are, keeping an eye on wrestling. And again, keep an eye on my videos. Go watch my new videos, guys. I did post up a few videos, so check out that iPhone video. I know Tech for Your Needs already saw one of those videos because he makes comments. So I know you're watching if you guys make comments, obviously. So thanks again for always commenting, liking my videos, sharing my videos if possible, guys. So again, thank you all for watching. Y'all have a great night. Thank you, okay?